Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second podcast, our second YPFL talk. My name is Leonard König, and I am here with Sebastian Lemke, as always, guys.
Hello, guys.
So, today we have quite a big agenda again. We have a special guest, Lucas Windel. You might know him from Team E-Man. He was the former boss of Team Trend. And he is going to answer some of our questions today. He is going to play our funny little quick spell and counter trap games. And he's generally answering some questions of ours. But I think...
Sounds like a fun evening, right?
Yeah, I think we should start with our topics that just concern us too.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, it was, again, quite a nice Yu-Gi-Oh! Weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, it feels like every weekend is a nice Yu-Gi-Oh! Weekend at the moment, right?
Yeah,
weekend after weekend, we can just do. We do see a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh!
The numbers of regionals have increased a lot lately, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Like 2 or 3 years ago, you could play one regional a month, and now there's basically one every weekend, which is amazing, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of that, I think you actually attended a regional this weekend, right?
Yes, I've been to the regional in Hameln this weekend. 102 players.
The well-known Hameln.
Yeah, the well-known Hameln. It was in a laser tech hall.
Ooh, and I mean, Hameln is probably not known to a lot of people outside of Germany, and so it's quite cool that actually attracts more than 100 players, right? Pretty big with such a small town.
It's also not well known for people that live in Germany, but
good point, actually, yeah.
But it was actually, I mean, even though I top 8'd, which is quite nice because I haven't done shit in a while.
Congratulations on that, man.
Thanks. It was one of the worst tournaments that I've ever played, honestly.
Ooh, why though?
It was a complete disaster. 102 players, imagine that, and the TO actually started not putting up a poster of or a banner with the names so that everyone can check if they're on the list.
Cool.
No,
cool.
He put up a ladder, went on that ladder, and then called out every single of these 102 players.
Wow, you're kidding, right?
No, I'm not kidding.
Oh wow.
And that wasn't even everything. There was just one sheet for the pairings.
Yeah.
Only one. For 102
people
players.
Lining up every single time.
Yeah, and they didn't sort the pairings after the names because it was too much trouble for them to print out pairings twice.
Mm-hmm.
But they just sorted it after the tables, and at the beginning nobody knew where they had to look for their names. Which with one sheet on 102 players is not that great.
Definitely not too good, no. But I mean, also, the result was pretty good for you. You did play pretty good.
Yeah.
So
there were other issues
by all that.
I want to complain more.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just gonna close my window because it's getting pretty freezy in here. The next thing is that we had a break, which I mean Hameln always does that because they offer food at that place, which is amazing if you are attending smaller tournaments. Yeah. When we played charity cups, you can buy food there, and you're just gonna have an amazing time with 30 or 40 players. You can eat there. You're not you know there's nutrition that's good for you as a player.
Yeah.
And then with 102 players and calling out everyone, we started playing at 13 or 12:30, and then we had a lunch break that was 1 hour again.
After round 1 or what?
After round 2.
Oh, cool.
So we left the place at I think 8:30.
Oh,
which is still okay-ish, but
that's too long for a regional that does not even have top card, right? It's just Swiss, so it's kind of nah.
But the biggest issue was that they had no timer anywhere.
That's a good point on top. I mean, it is pretty important to have a timer right now in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because
and
time really is a factor right now.
The judges were pretty unreliable. I played against my good friend Henry Dopeide,
Mm-hmm.
And we asked the judge how much time there was left, and he said 10 minutes. So we started to rush because we were still in game 1.
Okay.
So we started misplaying a lot because like there was no time, and nobody wanted to lose in timeout because it was pretty close as well.
Yeah, sure.
We played terribly because we were in such a hurry. And then the judge came back after like 10 minutes or 12. We were wondering why timeout wasn't called yet. And he said, yeah, you have another 10 minutes, guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
So basically the judge made his own way into this game and probably changed the outcome of the game because you both had to rush the game so hard, right?
Yeah, it could have been like a really great game. It was very grindy. It was very cool. Mm-hmm. Like eventually I ended up winning that one because we both made plays that play into timeout, and it worked out for me after all.
Yeah, you didn't even tell us what you actually played. I think I know what you played, but the people don't know. So what did you decide to play for the event?
I decided to run pure Sky Striker because I really hate Salamangreat. I know I used to say that I hate Sky Striker as well.
And I do remember that 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago I talked to you and you're like, wow, Salamangreat is so great. It's like you're changing opinions pretty frequently, I would say, on that.
Yeah, but like the deck feels so lackluster.
It just cannot do enough for you, or what?
Yeah, like I always just draw my engine cards, and if I just draw my engine cards, I lose because I just end up on 1 negate. And if I draw my engine cards with Sky Striker, then I just win every game I play, no matter how your opponent draws. So Sky Striker is insane. Like the only match I lost was when I hard bricked for no starter twice.
Yeah, these games hurt. When you just do not have a way into Ray, and you're just sitting there, setting back row, and be like, go, 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 and you're just losing pretty fast, sadly. I know that feeling for sure. I know that. Yeah, but so you did a good job and top 8 of the regional.
Yeah.
So when was the last time you topped the regional? Is that a long time ago?
Or the problem is that I have been casting so many matches on Sunday and Saturday lately
of course.
that I couldn't even attend any kind of regional in this season. So this was my first one.
Yeah, okay. So congratulations on your first regional top then.
Thanks.
I would say, yeah, tell me.
There was a much bigger tournament going on this weekend, much more important one as well.
That's what I wanted to get to, because it was a good topic speaking about Sky Striker already, because the other big tournament you're talking about was the UDS in Las Vegas over in America, and that was won by Sky Striker. So Sky Striker seems to be the big deck again. Like, or was it ever absent? Is it still Sky Striker? I don't even know what to think. I mean, I saw now Salamangreat is the best deck, but apparently it is not. I don't know. Tell me.
I like how everyone always says that Sky Striker loses strength as soon as a new deck comes up.
Yeah.
And then it's still wins.
Everybody shifts away from Sky Striker as well, right? It's not just everybody says Sky Striker isn't that good anymore. Also, the amount of players that are playing the deck is dropping, and then they're just coming back and be like, yeah, I miscalculated pretty hard. It's still the same. It's still very, very good in grind games, and it can outgrind basically every deck in the meta game.
So, yeah, like resolving multiple engages per turn will still win you any game you play.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just talk about the metagame breakdown of Nevada, Las Vegas. I think it's better to just talk about the top card breakdown because that's the most representable. And that sees us having 7 Sky Striker decks out of 16 and 7 Salamangreat decks as well.
Wow.
And that was added by a Dangerous Thunder Dragon and a Dangerous Zombie deck. And you said wow, and I pretty much agree, because the sheer numbers of these 2 decks is just overwhelming, because it does now seem like we're having a control format. I don't know. Can you say that?
Like we had such a big variety in Chicago and like the few tournaments after that. Like even Düsseldorf was a lot, but like numbers quickly represented that Salamangreat is so dominant. and people also figured that maybe Sky Striker has a good matchup versus Salamangreat, that people started to like pick up the cheap Salamangreat deck and like shifted away from other decks like Thunder Dragon Danger.
Apparently, because that deck really didn't perform well in this event. It's like it was also kind of a special format they played there, because I think they played 12 rounds of Swiss for around 300 players, which is like normally you would play 9 rounds of Swiss for that number. But because of the special format of the tournament, they decided to do 12 rounds because it was an invitational tournament and so on. And maybe that was a factor to actually see more Salamangreat and Sky Striker decks entering the tournament, because they're very consistent, very reliable decks. And when you're playing such a big amount of Swiss rounds and you have to get so many rounds done by the end of the day, maybe it is a good thing to actually play a very consistent control-based deck, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, the decks just get greedier and greedier right now, probably. I've seen people increase the number of Will of a Salamangreat they are playing, just because it's like such a great value card.
It's a new Soul Charge, yeah.
Yeah, it is like Soul Charge. I don't know why people played one in the first place. It's such a great card. People haven't really decided on if Flame Buffalo is a must-have or isn't.
What do you think? Do you have an opinion on that?
It's weird. It feels like
tough, right?
It's actually pretty good, honestly. You have so many great discards. Drawing into your hand traps is insane. I would really play it, actually. It feels like a really good card for the deck.
Yeah, at the moment, I have to agree. It really seems like it just allows you to draw into your power cards, which is really necessary in the deck. Because if you already have your starters, you just need your save up hand traps and maybe Artifact Sanctum or so. Do you think... did you see how many players actually played the Artifact engine in the Salamangreat decks? I think that's a very interesting question. Because that was like some... I didn't really check that too, but like in Düsseldorf, the people were saying, yeah, I played Salamangreat because Sanctum is a thing, and I can play the Sanctum Strive engine for the artifacts. And that made the deck so strong because it allowed the player to actually play these two cards. But I think it wasn't that represented in Las Vegas, Nevada. But speaking about the event again, actually Sky Striker battled it out against Salamangreat in the finals. So the both most represented decks made their way into the finals. And do you remember the name of the winner? Actually, I think it was it's Tyler Pfeiffer who played Sky Striker, and he took it down. And I would say, because we have the category here in our podcast, which is called Deck of the Week.
Mm-hmm.
And we already talked a lot about Sky Striker, and so I would definitely consider Sky Striker to be the top option of the week.
Yeah, exactly, because nobody is getting bored of Sky Striker.
Yeah. It really... I mean, you can already play this deck for so long now, and still the deck basically shifts back and forth, and like you have a core number of cards you have to play. The Sky Striker cards, of course. You cannot cut on Widow Anchor, or you cannot completely cut out multi-roll or the field spell or so. These are just staples you have to play. But there's like a number of cards, I would say, ranging from 9 to 15 spots, something around that number, which you can just flip out depending on where the format is right now. And I would say it's really interesting to follow that development. And I think there's a very, very special list we could talk about from the event, which really showcases that.
Yeah, at this point we can combine like Deck of the Week with Player of the Week.
Yeah, you're right, for sure.
Because the UDS top 16, did he get to top 4 or top 8?
Top 8, actually.
The top 8 list of Hani Jawari, who is our Player of the Week right here. The Sky Striker list was really crazy, actually. It looked very different from like the winner's deck list, or let's even say like a standard Sky Striker list.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me just, He main decked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hand traps, which is fine. 2 Veilers, 2 Impermanents. I think that is an odd number, honestly, because like you kind of want to decide which one is better for you, and then you should max out on that one. So I think 3-1 doesn't look that nice, but would make like it would make more sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. For sure. And because that would kind of explain your thought process, because there's not really a reason to say, play 2-2, because they basically kind of do the same thing, right?
Yeah. He main decked Cherries.
Yeah, we haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, with Colossus as a target, which is now really useful, as Colossus was like not a good Cherry target back when they didn't play Sekka's Light, because the fusion just shuffles like 3 Colossus back and summons the Titan.
Yeah.
And now nobody is playing the fusion anymore. So if you cherries out the Colossus, your opponent won't have any, which can like take away parts of their combo as well. He plays the Sunlight Wolf as a cherry target. Against the Danger Orcus deck, he can cherry out either Phoenix or Boreal Sword, which is quite funny actually.
Yeah.
And 2 more cards that I would want to talk about. Or let's first say that he's also playing Jamming Wave.
Also a card that is just drifting back and forth, drifting out and in out of the decks. It's really interesting.
I think it's better right now because you can like immediately target the raw if you draw it.
Did you play Jamming Waves this weekend?
No, but I immediately put it back in afterwards. I just forgot about it, kind of.
Okay, cool.
He plays 3 Desires and 3 Boo. There can only be 1.
That is interesting too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hate Desires in Sky Striker. Because if you're playing versus Salamangreat, I understand that you want to extend your plays and your chances of getting into your engine. It is really important that you are able to play versus the deck, even if they have a negate and probably like a hand trap or 2. But every time I played against Salamangreat and we got into a grind game, it really felt like I had to go through every single copy of Anchor and like 2 Shark Cannons or something like that out of my deck. And if you like banish 2 Anchors with Desires, then your chances get lower and lower. I mean, unless you can keep your There Can Only Be One on board, which can easily be outed by Foxy.
Yeah, but it seems like he really valued the Desires, because he actually ran 41 cards and 3 Desires, so he could have easily cut 1 Desires, but he saw that really 3 Desires is necessary for him. So he seems to be just the complete opposite on that.
I like the
really loved
41. I like the 41 card upstart.
Yeah, of course. And Sky Striker, as we said a lot in the past, it's a good card as a 41th card.
Just really makes nice. Much but sense. Maybe, so continue, please.
I wanted to say also the combination of Desires and the main deck There Can Only Be One makes sense for me, because you want to go through your plays and then you want to go ahead and activate the Desires, and on top of that you just draw into your floodgate, and then you're pretty safe. You already brought your plays through, and then that comes in. I think that's pretty handy.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree. But looking at his side deck, he plays 3 strikes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I kind of like, when I thought that I could try out his build as well, I figured that I should exchange There Can Only Be One with these strikes.
Because it's more versatile, or what do you think?
Yeah, because it's more versatile again. I mean, against some decks, it's completely useless, actually. Like in the mirror match, it's not too good. I mean, you can send it away, that's fine. And of course, it is good against Salamangreat. I mean, it's really good, even if you're going second, if you got the negate out. But I mean, they can still get rid of it quite easily, and against some decks, the card is just like useless. Also, if you're playing against rogue stuff like Subterror, sometimes it just won't do anything.
Yeah, I think it does make sense when the format now develops into a more Sky Striker meta game, that you exchange there can only be once for the strikes again, because strike is really huge in the Skyscraper mirror match, of course, and makes a whole lot of more sense there.
Yeah.
So I can definitely follow that path of thinking for sure.
Nick is just in the chat. I think Nick from JK, you might know him as a vendor.
Yeah.
He just said, I don't even play anymore. And I know that you don't play Upstart as a 41 card. But in this case, you just want extra spells to boost up your Skyscraper spells. So it makes perfect sense to play Upstart as the 40 first card.
Yeah, back in the days, that was a pretty good rule of thumb to not do that. Yeah, it is 41st. Yeah, right. I think it's 41st. Absolutely.
Weird.
A little, yeah. So we have another category we can just dive into for this week, sure. And we introduced a category named News Time.
Yes. So we have skipped card of the week.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I completely just sprang over that. Yeah, card of the week. And we talked about that before. We really have a good idea what could be the card of the week this week. Because we talked a lot about Sky Strike and all that, it really makes sense to have a Sky Striker card as well to be the card of the week. And so tell the people, what is our card of the week?
So at first we went over DD Crow because it's a good generic answer to cards like Spinny or Foxy.
Right, that was my first instinct. Like, DD Crow's back in the metagame. It's hand traps that came just into the format back again.
Yeah. But then we figured that maybe Shark Cannon is better, because right now Shark Cannon, for me, my most played play of the weekend at the regional was end phase Shizuku, search out Shark Cannon, then activate Shark Cannon immediately to take like Jaguar or a Spinny or something else, or a Falco. I mean, Bailings rather in the main phase to run over your monster, which I will come to later. And then set it again to get like a resource out in the next turn as well. And in the main phase, it's great because you have cards like Afterburner, or I even ran Hercules base. And it is really great to like activate the Shark Cannon to get rid of the protection effect of Bailings, and then to be able to resolve your Afterburner to pop like a back row, or to activate Hercules base and draw 2 cards if you're really good in your engine.
Yeah. Did you main deck Hercules base this weekend?
Yeah, I felt like it was kind of necessary sometimes in the grind matchup, but I didn't really use it. So I also expected like mirror matches, but I did not have to play any of those, thank God.
That's also a very interesting thing. Like Hercules base is one of the cards that is also just switching in and out of the deck. And lately the people have been cutting that card because they were like, if I have to get to that point where I have to grind so long that I have to use the effect of Hercules base, I'm probably losing the game anyway, so I don't really need that card anymore. I heard that a lot lately.
Yeah.
And if you have to invest that much time, you may want to quit the game before. So it wasn't really, because you cannot play 3 games if you have to play a game where you have to resolve the effect of Hercules base mostly. You know what I mean? It just takes too much time with these games.
That's true. That is true. Your opponent would have to scoop early in the second game. But now we can move on to news time, I think.
Yeah, cool. Oh, everybody make sure to go to Card Market and buy your Shark Cannons for, I think, 10 cents a piece or so.
It's hype. Hype.
Yeah, hype. Twitch hype. Podcast hype. Yeah, but now let's go to our news time. There it is. And I would like to start with just the information for all of you that there will be another stream this weekend, actually. This Saturday. Is it Saturday? It is, right?
Yeah, it is Saturday. It's YCS, not YCS. It is the original in Karlsruhe, as I like to call it.
Oh, yeah, in the south of Germany. And we won't drive to Karlsruhe. We will cast from our home as we do right now. And there will be a regional, as you said, and it will be a pretty big regional again, I think. Lately, the events in Karlsruhe really had big numbers, thanks to the organizer Raid and Trade, which really promoted them with extra prizes and all that stuff. So they tend to get bigger. And I think they also got a new location, a bigger location, so that they can fit in more players, which is kind of cool.
Hopefully their internet is, their Wi-Fi connection is better than the last time, because we had problems with that, like big time.
Yeah, and I don't want to be Robo Lemke again. Hopefully that does not happen.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah, so far today it is going pretty well, I have to say. Luckily, I'm pretty happy with that.
So far.
So far, right? It tends to happen in the second half of the podcast.
Yes.
Let's see. So another spoiler that was given out during the week was a spoiler given out by Konami, and they revealed. You're already saying it was like such a bad voice. Like, yeah,
I hate it.
Do you want to tell the people?
We get a Prank Kids National mat. National Top Cut mat is Prank Kids, Dropsies, Fansies, Firesies, or whatever, Sparkies, I think.
Like just all of them, and they all even in multiple numbers on this mat, right? Just a lot of them.
It's awful.
On the first view, it just looks like there are 20 Prank Kids monsters on this mat. I don't know, it's just packed with Prank Kids monsters. And I saw like split opinions on that in the internet, like in Zodiac do this and so on.
Yeah.
There were people like really hyping the mat, and these people probably were Prank Kids players. And a lot of players also agreed with you and were like, nah, it's not really that cool.
No, it's like not a mat I would want to play on, actually. It's so ugly. Like the only thing that I like about the deck is that the names are funny. And do you have the names on the damn mat? No.
You don't. Joel Sosa69 in chat also agrees, says worst mat ever. And it always is like when you have a national which attracts a lot of players, I think you want to have a mat with a theme that a lot of players are actually playing, like a meta deck, you know? Like Salamangreat, for example, would have been a good choice because a lot of
Salamangreat just got the structure deck mats, so I think Dangers would have been like good.
That would have also been a good choice. You're right. But like a theme that really does something. I mean, Prank Kids won in YCS, so never mind. But they didn't do really a whole lot after that.
Nope. But they're annoying as hell.
Actually, Yolans in the chat says, "Where's Matt? Question mark. Never been to Euros in Amsterdam with a Guardian Eatos mat."
Eatos is amazing. Eatos looks like so cool.
I think I didn't attend Euros there, but I saw the mat, of course, because it was in it was a lot of people had it. That's what I wanted to say. Sorry. And I think it looked kind of cool too. Yeah, I liked it as well. I liked it more than the Prank Kids mat for sure. But let's see. We will see in the future whether other people like it. And let's just move on to the next point of news time, because there was a reprint announced this week. I don't know. Yeah. It's not a huge reprint, but it's like kind of a nice reprint, because they announced that Spellbook of Knowledge will actually be reprinted in Infinity Chasers.
Yeah,
and that will be. Yeah.
Which I didn't hear of like, until just today.
I had to tell you about it, right?
Yeah, I just looked into it, and the cards look like, honestly, I have no idea. I didn't want to read like all the theme cards, so maybe the cards are good, but I haven't heard of it, so I think they're probably terrible.
There were some rumors involving the witchcraft theme, but I don't really remember whether it was like, there's a lot of girls in this deck, or whether it was, the deck is pretty good, you know? I cannot really remember that. But they talked about witchcrafts a lot. I remember that. And
you can probably see like Grinder Golem combos on Lithium's channel for witchcraft. So if you want to check out the deck, there's probably a video on there already.
Yeah, go ahead and check that out. And Infinity Chasers will drop on 21st of March, actually. So this month, not a lot of time to go until then. And the last point I want to talk about in news time is that the special edition promos for Savage Strike were revealed during the week. And to be honest, I did not really check them out too deeply, because everybody was like, oh, they're crap.
Yeah.
And so I just assume that they are probably crap.
It's a big disappointment after what happened in the Soul Fusion special editions, like Summon Sorcerers and the Eastall reprint. They were amazing. Also, I think Connector and Roxy's were in there, right?
Yeah, they were.
So 4 amazing cards, honestly. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, they couldn't keep up with that, and it's like not too terrible for us because like nobody really cares about it because it never impacts that much unless there's like one single crazy card, and that doesn't happen that often. So yeah, I think nobody's too sad about it, but having some bad special edition promos. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the special edition will still be ripped up a lot because everybody wants to get their hands on Phantasme, of course, and also Pot of Extravaganza. Thank you. So yeah, the set is still a good set, and I think the special edition will sell, even though the promos are pretty bad.
Yeah,
but I think that's it for news time. Let's wrap it up here and go into the very special part of our YPFL Talk podcast, because Indeed. Now we will introduce our guest.
We are having Lukas Windel today as our guest for our interview. Yeah. So, guys, welcome him warmly.
Round of applause for Lukas Windel.
Hey, what up?
Hey, Lukas.
Hi.
Nice to
Hi, Lukas. Thank you for being here.
No problem. It's a great honor to be on this podcast.
You shouldn't fuck up your talking because there are 15 people watching, so high pressure here.
Yeah, I'm already sweating.
I believe so.
We hope so. I would say I would just start the talk by saying where I first actually met you, Lukas, or where I remember meeting you. And that was at Austrian Nationals 2016, I think. Is it possible that you won that event there?
Highly possible, yeah.
Highly possible. Yeah, I judged that event, and I remember that you were playing in the finals. And maybe you can talk about that a little. What deck did you play back in the day?
I played Burning Abyss Phantom Knights, which is like Burning Abyss is my favorite deck of all time. So, yeah.
So you had to play that, basically.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to play that deck at the event because afterwards cherries were coming out and everybody thought, oh my god, Burning Abyss is dead with cherries. Everybody will just always cherries Dante and you lose. Turns out that was a slight misconception.
Looks like it, yeah. Looking back from now. That's true.
Yeah, but I was there with you. I unfortunately didn't make the top 8 cut, and they only played top 8 with like nearly 200 players, which should have been top 16.
Yeah, but it's Austria, so they always just play top 8 because it's a one-day event.
Yeah, but I remembered that we also wanted to play like this event because we didn't want to have to afford the cherries.
Yeah.
That's a very good reason and a very professional reason as well.
Yeah, I won't spend 150 euros on hand traps. I'm just going to a different country to play a tournament then.
12 Seems like the obvious choice, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, but that wasn't where your Yu-Gi-Oh career ended. You were on fire lately, I can say, because in Milan, actually, you got top 8. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
And what deck did you play in Milan?
Sky Strikers.
Boring.
Oh. We already talked a lot about Sky Strikers today, and I think in Düsseldorf you top 32, correct?
Yep.
And you didn't play Sky Striker anymore.
No,
you switched to Salamangreat.
Yeah, exactly.
Still boring.
Still boring. And I would like to hear from you why you did decide to switch decks there, and do you think like after the UDS in Las Vegas now, where Sky Striker again won, the metagame will shift back to Sky Striker again, and maybe you will shift back to Sky Striker too?
And by the way, please give like the honest answer to the question why you switch decks, because otherwise I will tell the stream. So you can't lie.
I don't know what you're referring to, but okay. I had the option to play both Sky Striker and Salamangreat.
Mm-hmm.
First coming into the event, I was pretty sure I was going with Sky Striker, and then I did a bunch of testing. I threw together a build with like 9 hand traps. There can only be one main deck and stuff like that. But the deck felt super horrible at testing. I played at locals and I lost to stuff like dinos because I just kept not drawing Ray, or I draw like one Ray, it gets Kaiju'd, and then I'm out of the game. So I decided not to play Strikers. It just felt horrible for me. Then I switched to Salamangreat, and yeah, that deck was pretty good.
Yeah, success made you feel right after the event, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So the real reason why he didn't play Sky Striker is when we entered the venue, I asked you, what are you going to play, Lucas? And you said, I'm just going to wait until the last second until Jonas makes his choice, and then I'm going to play the same deck that Jonas played.
Yeah, I actually said that. But at this point, I already knew it wasn't going to be Sky Striker because Jonas wasn't going to play Sky Striker.
Fair enough. And going into the future, do you think you will switch back to Sky Striker now?
I don't know, actually.
Do you think it's still a viable choice, at least?
Yeah, it's definitely viable. I don't know if there's any big event before the next list, so it might depend a little bit on what gets hit and what not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Striker's going to dodge yet another list. If it does, then okay, it's fine. The deck is fun. I can live with playing Striker for one more format.
Dodging bullet after bullet. Feels like burning Abyss, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we can get like Gary to 1, but we get a new Link monster and Pot of Avarice to 3. That would be fine as well.
Yeah, 3 Pot of Avarice. That's an amazing idea. That just won't get abused by danger decks.
Oh, yeah, I kind of forgot about that one. They will have to fix that in the OCG as soon as they get dangers, right?
Seems like it for sure.
Who cares about
the OCG is crazy anyway. They have like full force burning Abyss and nobody's playing it, so I don't know.
So maybe we should fly over to YCS Japan in fall and just play Burning Abyss there. I don't know. It seems like a good idea.
Yeah, finally playing 3 Beatrice again. Fits good.
Yeah, and finally playing best of 1 in that YCS.
Yeah.
And having
very good choice. Yeah, that's right too. For sure. Leonard, what do you think? Shall we just do quick spell right now?
Let's do my favorite format of this podcast. Okay.
Do you want to quickly explain before we start? Because people may not know because they didn't watch last week.
So I didn't watch last week as well, so I actually need to know what I'm
That's a good start then.
We will put up a timer of 90 seconds, and we're going to ask Lucas some questions. He will try to answer those questions, or sometimes it's a task. Like, for example, in the last format, I told Jonas to name 1 recently banned spell. This can occur as well, of course. And you're trying to answer as many as possible in this amount of time. In 19 seconds.
All right.
90 seconds. Jonas answered 9 questions correctly. If you don't know the answer to anything, you can just say skip.
Okay.
And if you're wrong, then you won't get like minus points or something like that. So, are you ready?
I'm not sure, but let's go.
I have a timer set up, so I will do the 90 seconds thing.
Okay, so you will count down?
Yeah, I will count you in. And I will count from 3 to 0, okay? So, 3, 2, 1, go!
What synchro summoning restriction does Debris Dragon have?
Only dragon monsters, and the other material has to be another level than level 4.
Okay, recently banned monster, name one.
Rhino Golem. Is it banned?
In which dorm of the Duel Academy did Jaden Yuki go?
The red one, Slifer.
Attack points of Raikou the Lightspawn Hunter.
200.
BAs that were released in New Challenger.
Oh my god. Rubik.
You can say skip.
Do you have to name all of them?
You have to say you can say skip. You have to name all.
Rubik, Virgil, Calcap, and Libic.
3 are enough. Okay. 2 + 2 is 4. -3. What's that?
Again.
2 + 2 is 4 -3.
That's 1.
Quick maths. Okay.
Yeah.
Name a card that enabled the infamous Zodiac Norden combo.
Fusion Sub, Black Sheep.
Name a water type archetype.
Mermaid.
Most represented deck in the UDS top cut this weekend.
Salamangreat and Sky Striker.
Ace monster of Joey Wheeler.
Flame Swordsman.
Who has more YCS tops, Joshua Oasters or you?
I do.
How many Ojamas are on Ojama country?
7.
How many
Time is
archetypes?
up. Time is up.
Okay.
Time is up. What was the answer for the Ojama country? I didn't hear it.
It was
7.
either 11 or 9, because I'm not quite sure if 2 of the Ojamas are Ojama doggos, and then they don't count.
Okay, so that answer was wrong. And another question I have, is Grinding Golem limited or forbidden right now? I'm not sure.
It's forbidden.
It's forbidden, so that was a correct answer. So let me just count right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 points as well.
Oof, 9 points as well, because he got the Joey Wheeler thing wrong, right?
Exactly, right.
Yeah, it's the red dragon.
Oh yeah, that's correct. I kind of missed that one.
Still a very good job, because you actually struggled with the Burning Abyss monsters. You wasted quite some time there, and still you came up with 9 correct answers. Very well done.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, okay. The next part of our great podcast is going. Okay, now I remember again.
I would have helped you, but go ahead.
We have another question about the Austrian National Championships in 2016. You had a featured match there, and this featured match is quite famous, actually.
Is it?
Can you tell us something about it? What happened there?
The one against Cosmo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I played against Cosmos in round 3 or something. And in game 3, or going into game 3, I decided to board in one of my well thought out techs. I sided in 1 Dark Destroyer. And the reason I sided that one was like during the match. At some point, he was at like 6,000 life points with an empty board, or almost empty board, and I only had 2 level 3s to make plays. But he had a banished farm girl, so I made Levia, special summoned the banished farm girl, attacked directly with both, searched the Dark Destroyer with farm girl, tagged out farm girl for Dark Destroyer, and attacked for game.
That's insane. I would have liked to see the face of the Cosmo players when he just declared effect farm girl. That must have felt bad for him.
Yeah, he thought it was super funny.
He was laughing.
Yeah,
exactly. And then he lost.
Yeah.
The next thing he remembered was he lost. Sadly.
But wasn't that guy in the top cut as well?
I don't know.
I think he won against Lars Knapp in top 8.
Oh no, that wasn't the same guy.
Oh, okay. They kind of looked similar. They were both short and blonde, I recall.
Same as Lars, but not short.
Another topic I would like to talk about is, back in the day, you were team member of Team Trent, and actually you were the team captain of Team Trent. And
yes.
Obviously now you are member of E-Man Games.
Yep.
And can you tell us why Team Trent actually... What happened to Team Trent, basically? Can you tell us?
That's a Fields Batman story. So at the start of this year, a few of our members decided to leave the team because of either the personal life, like Leonard, or differences in the team. And at that point, we were down to like under 10 members again.
Yeah.
And I had the decision to either rebuild the team for like the third time or to move on. Yeah. And after like 3 years of managing a bunch of players, caring about their problems and everything, I decided to put myself before others for once and to move on. So I decided to leave the team. I told everyone, I don't think I can be part of this team without being in a leading role, and going forward, I didn't want to be in a leading role anymore. It was too much time, too much stress, too much everything. Yeah. So I told them, if anyone wants to lead, I can help the person to get into it. You can have all the data you need, everything. But sadly, no one wanted to take over or felt responsible enough to take over. So at this point, we just decided to disband the team and go on.
All right. So it's like, as you say, it's a sad story, but also, do you regret it? Because the first major tournament after that was YCS Düsseldorf now, and you directly topped. So I don't think there's too much concern about that. Or just tell me.
Sometimes I regret it maybe a little bit because I put so much time in the last 3 years into the team, and it's sad to have that die. But I think it was the right decision for myself and probably for almost everyone else in the team as well.
Agree.
I mean, you had a wonderful time. Every time I met your team, it was like you were a lot of happy guys, and it looked like you're all very, very happy with your team, and you're just having fun at the event. And so that there are like other teams which seemed a little more like they were not having that much fun as you. You were always like the fun team for me, I have to say. But still, you had good results, of course.
Yeah.
And I think you're still friends, right, with the rest of the team?
Yeah, even though we're not teammates anymore, everyone is still friends with everyone. We hang out at events, we travel to events together, and
even with members that like left way earlier, like Jonas and Kian, we're all in this together still. Like we just all split up into 2 teams basically.
Yeah, right. And in general, in the Yu-Gi-Oh scene, I would say there's a tendency to go into a big team if you want to be successful. Do you think there can be a player not being in a big team consistently being successful at Yu-Gi-Oh at the moment? Is that possible anymore?
Yeah, definitely. Like if you look at Thomas Rose or Dinka Bui, they are both in relatively small teams, but they are both incredible players with incredible performances at every event. So I definitely think so.
And do you think it is possible without being in a team at all? Because they're both having a team too?
Even without a team, I think you can be successful. It's a lot harder, but it's still
right. It's just harder, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. So, Leo, do you think we should jump into counter traps now?
Yeah, I would agree on that one. So let me just explain our last format of this podcast, counter trap. The name is a bit cringe, but we love it. Counter trap basically means that we are asking you questions, and as soon as you answer, we cannot chain to it because the spell speed of your answers is too high. So we will just ask you some questions, and you can put out your statement, and we will leave it like that and won't question anything about it.
Okay.
So I think Basti has the questions. It should be 10.
It is.
So let's go.
Yeah, first question. What is the first competitive Yu-Gi-Oh moment you remember?
That should be YCS Prague in 2016. It was like the second YCS I traveled to another country for, and it was my first Premier event top. So yeah, I think that was that event.
Cool. Second, do you think you will be the team leader of E-Man Games someday?
I don't think so.
More of a fun question. Third question, what is your favorite deck of all time?
Burning Abyss.
No question there, no time of thought as well. What was the worst experience in your career of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh boy. Yeah, that was YCS Prague 2016 as well. Last Swiss round, I was 7-2, and I played against some random Italian guy. And I won game 1 pretty quickly. I didn't even get to deal damage. He just scooped at some point. Game 2 took ages. I was playing Burning Abyss. He was playing Draco Pels. And he won by a top decking monkey board on an empty board with a full extra deck. And game 3, I won with Vanity's Fiend control. And I was like super happy. I was 8-2, probably first YCS top. I reached for the slip, signed it, gave it to him, and he was like, "Why are you giving me the slip? The score's 1-1. We still have to play game 3. I was like, "Yeah, nice joke, dude. Can you sign it?" And he was like, "No, I'm serious." Then we had to like call the judge over it and all of it, and took like 20 minutes for the judge to decide that I was correct in the situation because I was the only one to write down life points. And the core of the issue was I didn't write down life points for game 1 because I did no damage game 1, and I was a young and naive boy and didn't think about, maybe I should still write something down to prove the game happened in case. But yeah, and in the end it was fine. So yeah, but it's still a terrible experience.
I agree, for sure. Sounds bad. Question number 5. What is your favorite YCS location?
Favorite YCS location? Probably the one in Prague. That one was really, really nice.
Okay, so question number 6. What is the average time of playtesting you invest before a YCS?
Playtesting online, actively playtesting like maybe 1 or 2 matches because I hate playing Dueling Book. But in person I playtest a lot. If I have time to, I would say like 10 to 20 hours. Maybe more like 10.
All right. Question number 7. Are you still a Yu-Gi-Oh fanboy? Or are you just a professional machine for a strategy game now?
I don't understand the question. Sorry.
I would just repeat it. Are you still a Yu-Gi-Oh fanboy, or are you just a professional machine now for a strategy game?
Yeah, I'm still a fanboy.
That's cool. So, question number 8. What card would be the first card you would immediately ban right now?
Oh, that's a good question. Immediately ban. Danger Nessie.
Interesting answer. Leo, no reactions. It's counter traps. So
flashbacks, but it's fine. Go ahead.
I know what you're talking about. So let's go for question number 9. Did you ever thought about quitting Yu-Gi-Oh? JK? Lol.
No, not really. I had a blast in the past 3 years I played competitive. I don't think I'm quitting anytime soon.
I have to say that's nice to hear. I will do a comment on that. And let's go to our last question. That is, do you have any final shoutouts now?
Shoutouts, yeah, definitely shoutouts to my team E-Man Games. Shoutouts to my friends on Discord, in America, in Paderborn, in Bielefeld, everywhere. Yeah, that's it.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you.
Nice. So I would say we should wrap it up here.
It was very nice having you, Lucas. It was a blast to talk to you as always. So it's not like we're talking like rarely, or we're not gonna play some computer games like immediately after this podcast has finished. This is probably going to happen.
Possibly.
So I want to thank you again. I want to thank Sebastian as well. It was great again. This one will be put on YouTube. So if you guys enjoyed it, share it with your friends. We are in dire need of more viewers in this podcast, even though you guys are a great audience as well. So I think we can wrap it up right here. On Thursday, we will have the Ultimate Guard League Cup stream, which will be casted by Sebastian Lemke and Lars Knapp, not me.
That's
we will
right.
explain then what, or I won't, but they will explain why I'm not casting that one on that day.
Yeah, so exactly. And I think it is Team Qbyte versus Team United Gozers on Thursday. So you can look forward to that.
Yeah, this sounds like a great match. And additionally, we are having a stream on Saturday, as we already said. The regional in Karlsruhe in the Raiden Trade Store is happening, and we will be there for you. We won't be there. We won't be casting from our studio in Magdeburg, but we're going to cast from our homes. So I don't know if we're going to use webcam or not.